Obrigada aos presentes. Só expomos, somos bons.
Exatamente.
A Madalena vem da Universidade de Kielce. Ela é de gestão, mas tem trabalhado essencialmente na gestão do ambiente. E o que ela vem falar é da análise do ciclo de vida, que alguns de vocês já me ouviram falar nisso nas aulas, deve ser das minhas mestrado. E eu acho, não vi a apresentação, mas acho que vai ser uma apresentação interessante, porque é uma ferramenta bastante transversal a todas as áreas do ambiente. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting me. Sorry for the weather. I really enjoyed it. Yes. Despite the class, of course. And when you want to start. Okay.
Thank you very much. And I was already said. As presumably Anna said, I came from Kielce, from the Technical University there. I teach the environmental issues, environmental management stuff. So various aspects of environmental management and ISO, environmental management systems, EMAS, labeling and this kind of stuff. And of others, I teach life cycle assessment and I do the research connected with life cycle. So I decided to put the subject of our today's presentation, which is how green the product is, the application of life cycle assessment. Naturally, I won't be able to tell everything about the life cycle in such a short time, but at least I'm going to present the basic issues and make a very brief review of the studies or research we did in Kielce. So the brief outline of the presentation, LCA as Environmental Impact Assessment tool, brief introduction, then I will go through the methodology of LCA. So I discuss how we construct the goal and scope of LCA studies, how we make the life cycle inventory, how we collect the data, what data do we use. Then the methods and programs regarding the life cycle impact assessment. Because in fact to do that phase of life cycle assessment we use professional softwares such as for instance CIMA-Pro or ISTE when we are doing the LC of waste management. And then I sum up with interpretation of the results. So, intro then. What do we define as LCA? I'm pretty sure many of you knows it, so very briefly, a technique for assessing the environmental aspects and potential impacts. So, not only aspects, but also the consequences of the process in the environment associated with a particular product or process throughout its life cycle. In terms of the norms regulating the LCA, we are talking about a product, but product is understood as a product itself, then as a service, or as a process, this is a manufacturing process. And although it is understood as the cradle-to-grave analysis, cradle-to-grave analysis, it depends actually how we make the system dangerous. So equally we can make a cradle-to-cradle, which is these days even more often made because of the recycling processes. So the waste we have from the one process become a secondary raw material in the other one. So these days we often even say more often that it's cradle-to-cradle analysis, not cradle-to-grave. But it can be also, as you can see, cradle-to-gate analysis. So we don't analyze the whole process, the whole life cycle of a particular product or process, but we choose the processes we analyze, we cover by our research. It takes holistic perspective, what is involved in the production, for instance, of raw materials, or involved in the management of waste being a result of our process. That's why we are able to get a holistic perspective. What else? It's one of the methods of life cycle sustainability, so-called. So it could be combined with other aspects of sustainability as the economic one and the social one, because of the life cycle cost analysis and social life cycle assessment. I haven't done it myself, but I saw such articles where these three issues were combined in terms of the sustainability of particular process. And finally, it's iterative procedure, which means regarding the goal and scope. So after doing the analysis, we can notice that we have to change the scope or the goal of the analysis will better defined, so we can make it and to receive the better support for the decision. As I mentioned, LCA is a subject of international standard. The two most important ones are the one with ISO 14040 and 14044. These standards are precisely on LCA, so they define principle and framework, the definitions, the methodology, and all the stuff necessary for doing the LCA well. But we have to remember that LCA is used in many other fields. And that's why it's very strongly related to eco-designing, and there is one standard related to eco-designing, as these days when we design the product, besides the traditional concept of designing, we include the environmental aspect of that product, and then we refer to 14,006. What else? Eco-labeling, precisely type 3 of environmental declarations. That gives us another field of LCA application, which is environmental management and marketing, actually. And finally, 14,045, which is eco-efficiency. It's again combining the aspects of environmental issues with the economic one. So then it's 14,045. In terms of application, a bit I have already mentioned. So analyzing the opportunities to improve the environmental aspect of a particular product or process. In other words, it enables us to find the environmental hotspots, let's say, in the life cycle of a given product or process. Then it's enabled to make a comparison or comparing between two products or processes. But again, we have to remember to keep the same system boundaries and place them in the same time. Then decision making in various fields, very often it supports the decision in terms of strategic planning or environmental management, especially eco-management, which is so called EMAS. Marketing, and finally setting standards. Also, while doing or applying the results of our LCA analysis, we have to remember whether for internal or external communication, because then it's a bit differently performed. Methodology. So LCA is divided into 4 separate phases. The first one is goal definition and scope. Another one is inventory analysis. impact assessment, and the last one, interpretation of data and findings. Actually, this interpretation we carry on through the whole study, so we try to interpret all the steps before we go to another stage of our analysis. I start out with the first phase, which I've already mentioned, which is the goal and scope definition. Actually, it incorporates of a number of successive operations, which the most important are determining the goal of the study, then the definition of the product system and the unit processes without the system, and finally defining the functional unit of the system. In having these one, we are answering the question related to what, where, when. I will just describe it in a minute. Why, what for to do, by whom it will be analyzed, or what, how much, how many in terms of functional unit. So, the first one, which is the goal definition, it defines the purpose of the study, why we are doing the study, what for we are doing this study, to whom are we going to present the results, and what decisions will be made upon our study. It's a very crucial step or question we have to ask ourselves starting every LCA study. What we are going to do with our results we receive. Then I've mentioned about the system boundary and the unit processes. We have to refer what I said at the beginning, that it can be these cradle to grave analysis, cradle to cradle, or cradle to gate analysis. And this is defined by the system boundaries. So a set of material and energy connected unit processes to fulfill one or more defined functions of this given process or product. And functional unit is used to define the product process, either quantitatively or qualitatively. We refer, and functional unit is used when we collect the data. We refer to this functional unit. And defining the functional unit, first we have to keep in mind what data we will be able to collect actually, to which functional unit we will be able to refer to.